Hey everyone, I am Diana and this is my battle buddy Jess. Welcome to episode 14 of
Unfiltered and Unarmored.
We're just two veteran women out here trying to figure out life after the military, healing, unlearning, rediscovering who we are. And today we need to talk about something spicy because relationships are already complicated. Now add the military,
Deployments,
distance,
loneliness,
stress.
trust issues.
And somebody's saying, so what if we had an open relationship? Ma'am, now I need a chair, a snack, and legal on standby. So today we're going to be talking about open relationships, open marriages, and the positive and negative sides of us trying to do that around the military life. But let me say this right away. We're not here to judge anybody.
But that's why we're talking about it. Here we keep it real. We talk about the easy stuff and definitely the uncomfortable stuff. We're not giving legal advice. We're just having a real conversation.
We're also not here to tell anybody what to do because listen, I'm not in your relationship. I don't pay your bills. I'm not in your group chat. And I don't know who left who on red.
Exactly.
But we are going to talk about it as honest as me and Jess can, the consent, boundaries, jealousy, communication, and military rules. And why open doesn't mean do whatever and act surprised when people say they get hurt.
Phew.
Jess, before we start this episode today, I want to thank the person that sent us this episode to talk about it. It was very challenging for me because I do not have an open relationship, but it's something that is good to hear and knowledge for everybody that does have one.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to start asking you, Jess, and the audience before we go on. When you hear open relationship in the military, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it honesty? Is it chaos? Is it trust? Is it paperwork? Or is it just one big absolutely hell no?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Because it's a loaded episode too.
Hmm.
So what do you think, Jess?
The first thing that pops to my mind are people walking around, taking the dogs for a walk, looking for that certain thing on someone's porch later on at night. And the Bodhi music is going on in my head right now.
For me, I think it's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah. This episode was requested by one of our listeners. And before anybody starts acting like they're brand new, let's just say this clearly. We are not telling anybody to open their relationship. We're not telling anybody to close their relationship. We are not giving legal advice. And we are definitely not saying, go risk your career because a podcast said vibes. No, ma'am. This is a conversation about communication, consent, boundaries, military culture, and the good and bad sides of it.
Exactly. And if you're currently serving, married, separated, dating, or dealing with command drama, please know your rules and protect yourself. All right, let's start here because some people, when they hear open relationships, immediately think, oh, hell no, somebody is cheating. So let's slow down. Consensual non monogamy basically means everybody involved knows what's happening. Everybody agrees, everybody understands the rules, it is consensual, which means no sneaking around, no hiding messages, no, I thought you knew. No, sir. No, ma'am. Because cheating and an open relationship are not automatically the same thing. Cheating is hiding things, is lying to the person you're with, and breaking the trust.
Mhm.
When you have an open relationship, you're supposed to be involved honestly. There's a huge difference between it because if you gotta hide it, is it really open or is it cheating with extra steps? Some people do open relationships, some people do poly relationships, some people do swinging, some people do none of the above, like me. And honestly, some of y'all listening right now are probably saying, Diana, I barely have the energy from one relationship. Listen, I completely understand. I am a lot. I can't juggle anybody else but myself. But I think a lot of people will hear the word open and automatically think chaos. But not
Mhm.
everybody's doing it or thinks about it the same way. Not everybody has the same rules, and not everybody wants the same things because relationships don't come in one size. And that's why I keep telling you guys whatever works for you doesn't automatically work for me. So,
Yep.
Jess, what do you think about this? Do you think open relationships are chaotic or they're just being adventurous and trying new things? Because we are okay to do that.
I think the more people, the more chaotic it is, honestly.
It can be, yeah.
Like you, I can't handle more than one person in my relationship now. And honestly, the relationship that I have with my spouse, my partner, I wouldn't want to share him with anyone else. Just from my own personal experience, this point in my life, I can't be in an open relationship. That doesn't mean that in past points in my life, I haven't been able to be in an open relationship. It just now I am not because I have the kind of relationship that I treasure, and it would break my heart to see him involved with another human. It's dependent on the people involved. If they're happy with it, cool, that's them. But like you said in the beginning, everyone has to consent to having an open relationship. It's not just one person forcing it on another person.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the people that have open relationships, I
Mhm.
think you really have to be open with your partners and then really sit down and talk to them. Because at one point, I think when you add more than one person to the relationship, one person is always going to feel left out.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think that you have to understand that you're giving attention to both persons or three persons, or even if you're a swinger, if that's your thing, just do it respectfully.
Mhm.
I think it's a beautiful thing if you do it. If it's not for you, that's fine too. Like I said, for me personally, I'm not a very giving person. I'm a very selfish person. So I think I would have an issue with him. And maybe it's because I'm insecure. Let's just say my insecurities. So I don't think I personally can do it.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that are thriving. I have friends that have like a couple relationships and they're happy with it. And, I think all of us at one point would get pieces from everybody to create our perfect person because not
Mhm.
everybody's going to fulfill you 100% the way that you need to be fulfilled. So
Right.
maybe
Yep.
when people think about an open relationship, I could get love from this one, I get attention from this person. They could get like, sexually pleasure from one person, but the other person's more understanding. I mean, it could be for so many reasons that people open their relationships,
Yep.
respectfully, of course. For me personally, I don't think I can, and I don't think my Viking would share me with anybody else. But you never know. Maybe at one point when I'm old and wrinkly, like in Tampa, the older people, they have the little sponges in the back of the little go-karts and, they experiment. Hey, whatever rocks your boat, I am respectfully cool with it. If it works for you, it's freaking amazing. But now we're going to talk about why this comes up a lot in the military because this conversation comes up a lot. Story time. I remember, for example, back in the day when I was going to join the military, my recruiter did tell me that there were orgies in the military, that to be careful, people were going to knock on your door, they were going to do all this shit. I thought he was just scaring me. But let's be honest, when you're a single female in the military and you first go to your first duty station, this shit is 100% true.
Mhm. Yup.
It's like you're a piece of meat and people
Mhm.
coming knocking on your door. And hey, some of us didn't get this kind of attention growing up or like in high school. We weren't popular. So
Mhm.
getting all this attention can create a new atmosphere for us. For some of us, is a great idea to try new things. For some of us, it's not. We're not here to judge anyone. But before you do get involved in different relationships in the military, you do need to know the military rules because once you start opening the relationship, conversations start happening. Military life adds stress to everything. Then you have distance, then you have deployments. Then you have PCS moves, training, long hours of training, long hours of loneliness. And one person is trying to keep everything together in the relationship. If someone else is in another place, you're going to feel lonely.
Yep.
All the pressure can make people start feeling a little antsy and then they start asking the hard questions. Like, can we handle our relationship in long distance? How lonely are we? Are we really happy together?
Yeah.
And then you start asking yourself if you're just surviving in a relationship. Because sometimes people actually do want open relationship. Sometimes people do want the attention, the affection, the connection with somebody. And
Yeah.
let's be real, Jess, we all want to feel wanted. We want to feel seen. We want to feel like we're the hot shit because we want to be seen by everybody or the person that we really care about. And it's so hard when they're so far away from us.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, hey, I miss you or I feel lonely, the conversation starts happening a little bit differently. Maybe someone says, hey, maybe we should open the relationship. Those are very different conversations that a person should have in a relationship. And before opening anything, maybe we should start asking, are we okay? Is our relationship meaningful right now? Are we having trust issues? Or are we just trying to open the relationship just to make things work between us two?
Mm.
Because sometimes we care so much about the other person that we do anything not to lose that person. What do you think, Jess? Do you think that when people open the relationships, do you feel like some of us do it not to experiment, but morely to please the other person because we don't want to lose them?
Yeah. Absolutely. Instead of doing the hard thing, which is to work on the relationship, it's almost like a last ditch effort to say, do you want to let someone else in? That's for some relationships. And I can tell you that I've been there. That is not a solution. If you're going to open your relationship, you have to have a very strong foundation. You cannot be doing this to save a relationship because that is literally saying yes to your partner to cheat when you're doing it as a way to save your relationship.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are things that you could do to spice your relationship up if that's what you're looking for. But definitely, it's never a good idea to say, I'm going to go be with somebody else because some of us can't handle it. Some of us might feel like we're being betrayed. But just
Yeah.
because we're trying to stay with that person because we truly feel that we don't want to lose that person because we love them so much that we do things that we don't feel right about.
Mhm.
So now let's be fair because we keep it real around here. Me and Jess try to keep it as real as we can be. Not every open relationship can be messy. Not every marriage is cheating. Some people really do have the boundaries and they are mature enough to have this kind of relationships, which is fucking awesome. If it works for you, like I said, it works for you. They have rules, they have great communication with each other because honestly, that's the main factor of opening a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah.
Doing check ins, making sure that your partners, because obviously you're going to be more than one relationship, if they're okay. Definitely be respectful. And for some people, this actually does work for them. And part of it has to be like the relationship, talking about it, making rules. Everybody's life is different. When we open the relationship, we have to be honest. Some people with open relationships communicate better than people with closed ones because we're so afraid to ask the other person if they're okay. And we're so afraid to have the answer that they give us. Let's be honest, Jess. Do you think communication is a big part of your marriage, like in any relationship?
And mine, definitely 100%. I think that our communication is better than any relationship I've ever had with any other human. I'm talking friends and partners. And if you
Yeah.
don't have that strong foundation, and like you said, communication is key to having a strong foundation.
Yeah, because, sometimes one person could be mad, the other person is confused. The whole house is going to feel overwhelmed if there's not great communication. And everybody's
Mhm.
pretending like everything is fine when everything is not fine. In my opinion, like a healthy communication, we have to be able to say, what are we okay with? What are we not okay with? What feels disrespectful? What happens if feelings change? Because you might want something today, but maybe you don't want an open relationship anymore.
Mhm.
What happens if somebody gets uncomfortable? Because that's another thing. We might be all fucking pumped up and be like, yeah, let's do this. And then you actually get to a place and then you feel very uncomfortable in that situation. You
Mhm.
should be able to tell your partner and be like, hey, you know what? This is not for me, you know? So it takes a lot of honesty, communication, and definitely maturity to be able to have this kind of relationships.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, I think even a two people marriage is really hard to even have this kind of communications. It's really hard to
Mhm.
tell your partner how you feel. So some could barely communicate with one relationship. Now adding calendars, boundaries, emotions, check-ins, and extra people. I'm definitely tired by it, but for some people it actually works.
Mhm.
If I were to have more than one husband, I think I would be like, hell no. I could barely take care of one. So I can't imagine having a second wife or husband because I'm
Mhm.
already a lot. So bringing somebody else is just gonna be a lot fucking crazier. So mad respect if that's what you like and that you're able to do it. Awesome for you. I applaud you. Because there's times where you would want somebody else to take your other half and be like, hell, how about you deal with his bad attitude or her bad
Yeah.
attitude, you know? Leave me out of this shit. Like, boom, boom, go ahead. So we gotta look at the positive and the negative side. And honestly, being able to be mature about it is a good thing.
Mhm.
What do you think about the subject, Jess? Because you're very quiet over there.
I'm just letting you talk. I mean, you bring up all the important parts: communication, having the maturity in the relationship, maturity in yourself. Self esteem has a lot to do with being able to thrive in an open relationship. If you have shitty self esteem, it is not going to work. Before I met my husband, I met this army guy. And almost immediately, he was talking about bringing in another woman into the relationship. And I was like, "Okay, I'll talk to her. You know, I will be open-minded." At that point, I was feeling pretty shitty about myself. My PTSD was at the max, so I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I am open for anything." So, I met this girl and I was like, "Oh, hey, you're cool." I liked her more than I liked him. This guy, he was a womanizer.
That's most of the soldiers. I get it.
Anyway, she was like, "I don't want this." And I was like, "Phew, me neither, because he is not worth it." And it was funny because both of us left and it was great. And he was so butthurt about it.
That's a good example that you bring up because the good thing is that you probably ended up having a good relationship with this other woman.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna bash your men because that's not the point of this.
Whoa, hold on. He was not my man. You can go ahead and bash him. He was a piece of shit.
I'm talking to men in general. Like I said, we're going to talk about the negative side of it because
Yeah.
sometimes it fucking sucks. Like you said, you get bullied into doing something you don't want.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
maybe the other person was feeling like that. But I'm glad you both were able to sit down and talk and say, hey, you know what? This is not for me.
Mhm. Yep. He was a little bit nerdy. He was attractive, but he thought a lot about himself.
That's funny that you said that because the most unattractive men are the ones in Spanish, we call them like boquisueltos. They have
Oh,
good labia. They know what to say. They're smooth talkers.
yeah. Yeah.
Some men and some women too, they will get you to do anything that they want.
Mhm.
Like, I've fucking experienced when women come up to me, and they're like, oh my God, your boobs are amazing. Can we see them? And I'm like, so I'm going to tell you the story because it did really happen to me. So we went to the pool, and obviously, when you're in the military, you shower together, whatever. Not an
Yep.
issue. You learn not to be subconscious about yourself anymore. So I had these four friends of mine, and they were doing water aerobics. I said, yeah, let's go do it, girl. Water aerobics. Come on, let's do this. We're sitting down, changing and stuff like that. And of course, I'm very shy, honestly. Like, I'll be like covering myself and stuff. And then I take my top off to put, like, the bathing suit on. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, did you get your boobs done?" And I'm like, no." I said, "Sorry, guys, I didn't join the Air Force for a boob job. I'm in the Army." Had to throw it in there.
Well played.
But funny thing is that they were complimenting me. Now, do I tell you if they wanted something else with me? No. But it felt good that another woman complimented my boobs,
Mhm.
you know? Because it wasn't like this fucking pervert guy saying, "Oh my God," you know? It was more like the compliments of like, "Damn, girl, your boobies are nice." It was nice for them to say. I just think I worked out so much that they're just like kind of preppy out there, you know?
Mhm.
But it felt nice. But obviously, it happens a lot more than anything. And honestly, we should admire our bodies. So why not? If somebody else has nice
Mhm.
body, like, hey, girl, look at them ojos. Show me your eyes. You know?
Oh my god. Okay, so because you can't see this, y'all, she said, "Look at them ojos." And
Oh, and I batted my eyelashes.
yeah, that was perfect. I loved it.
It's good to compliment other people. And then I think the positivity of having a fucking strong relationship is that we could really say that shit to each other and be honest about it. And,
Mhm.
let's be honest, what woman or what man doesn't like the compliment?
Mm. Right?
And I think part of the opening of the relationship is that we want to feel desire in a certain way.
Yeah.
I really do applaud the women that are secure about themselves and that they do this. And I think the younger generation is more open to this than the older
Mhm.
generation.
I'm gonna throw a little wrench right there.
Before you say that, you got to
Mhm.
realize I come from a Hispanic background where my mother was very strict. So continue.
I will say that when I was in the Air Force, we were talking about polygamy, open relationships, and older people at Senior NCO Academy. So we were walking around viewing the academy, the building has pictures and all that shit. And one of the pictures was a retirement community called Air Force Villages. And
Ooh.
so, yeah, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I was like, where have I heard that before? I was like, is this like where all the polyamorous couples go and swingers during retirement? And a couple of my friends like side eyed me, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, because the villages, it's a retirement community.
I have heard of that. But the
Yes.
Villages is in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, near Orlando.
And I think there
Mhm.
was an article about that. But hey, you know what? Fucking power
Yes,
to
queen.
them.
Okay, yes, okay. I actually had this conversation with a medical professional at the VA because we were talking about STDs and shit, and the older community don't think that they can get the STDs, but the villages is, like, rampant with STDs. So,
Yes.
if y'all are gonna retire and do your thing down there, that's cool, but wrap it up.
But that is awesome. I mean, if you talk about the STDs and stuff like that, I get it. But at that age, fucking why not have fun?
Yup.
I mean, so what
Yup.
if your balls are all the way to your ankles and your titties all the way to your belly button? Slap them hoes around. Hey, why not?
I'm dead.
I'm thinking about like, me and my 80s, 90s shit, if I still got it going on, girl, why not?
Oh, yeah, you do you, boo-boo.
Yes. But like I said, now we're going to really talk about the negative side of this. Like you said, one of the negative sides could be getting an STD. Let's be honest, this is more of a bedroom open relationship that people have fantasies about.
Yep,
But if your relationship is already struggling and you're already hurting yourself, each other emotionally, shit's not going to get easier by bringing somebody else. Opening the relationship is definitely not going to fix anything. I think you would actually add more confusion and more stress into the relationship because problems don't magically disappear. So now you have an open relationship, you had fun, and you're still having the same problems that you had before.
mhm.
And if you're like Diana, you probably get jealous. And be honest with you, we tend to compare each other. So now you're comparing yourself to the other person. Maybe somebody catches feeling for the other person and you're being left out. That shit really hurts and puts a strain on it because you not
Yep.
only didn't want to do this, then all of a sudden the other person that you love has feelings for somebody else. And let's be honest, sometimes it's just lust, something different.
Yep.
And they end up liking the other person more than you. And then you're just kind of slowly fading through the back. And even if you're trying to come back into the relationship, they're excluding you. Right here, it matters. If one person says, yeah, okay, but inside they're feeling scared of doing this, they might be hurt, they might be confused or terrified of losing somebody. That's not healthy. That destroys relationships faster than a tornado because now you're only doing it because of the pressure you're feeling of being something or being in a relationship that you really don't want to have. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That entire situation is hard because you're trying to save a relationship by creating a new one, and that's not good.
And it's not healthy.
Yeah.
So now that we talk about the positives and the negatives, because there's always some good stuff and some great stories in between. Once you're in the military, the real talks gets even harder because we're consenting adults. And then automatically we think like, cool, we're safe. Even if you're single in the military, let's say you live on posts and you're single and you live it in the barracks, you are allowed to have more than one relationship. That is your business to have. However, when it starts impacting your job or you're married, it's a little bit different. Because we all hear the stories of, hey, you saw so and so, and then tomorrow he's with so, and then and you're like, damn, he's just running through the whole place.
Yeah.
But he's not really committed to anybody else. Do you have any stories about that, like when you're in the military?
Of me running through people?
Well, if that's what you did, girl,
No.
good for you.
No, but yeah, those were hard discussions that I had to have with other people. I had to talk with someone that wasn't even in my service. It was a Navy sailor, and all of a sudden, she became known as the barracks hoe, and I was like, "What?" Of all the people in the entire world. What was unfortunate was I had to give her life lessons. I was a mom at the time, which is great, but I was giving life lessons to a grown ass woman who was never taught by her mother about safe sex, about personal hygiene,
Oh
about
my
all the things. Like one day she came to work with bright pink lipstick on, and I was like, no, ma'am, you can't wear that. I was actually an E4, but I still outranked her. But I took her aside and I was like, listen, you don't want to be this girl. You don't want to be known as the barracks hoe. And also, you need to shower and you need to stay protected. You need to make sure you use condoms. You need to go to the medical clinic and get checked for STDs. Just because Jim Bob and Barney tell you that they don't have STDs, that doesn't mean shit. That was my professional experience with it. But it's unfortunate that I would hear about the men and the women that worked for me, but it was always different. Even if the men were sleeping with twice as many women or men as the women were, it didn't matter because the women were always the hoes, the sluts, the skanks, all the negative words. And the men, it was like, "Hiya, high five." It was always a positive thing. It was a shame.
That's funny that you said that about the hygiene thing. When I lived in the barracks, this is going to sound stupid and very ignorant, guys, but I'm still going to share with you guys. I didn't know what a douche was. I had my mom, she was like, either you go to the movies, but you don't go to do a show, which for years I didn't understand what that meant. I would have to take my little brother and sister anywhere I went.
Oh,
Yeah, this is the kind of woman right here.
damn.
So, anyways, this girl, and she was the sweetest like girl ever, but for one woman, 20 guys. I hate to admit it, if we've never had attention before in our life, when you go into a unit and all these men don't see your face, they see your flower. That's all they care about is your flower. They don't see color skin, they don't see race, they don't see how old are you. All they care is satisfying their pleasure.
Yep.
And this girl got run down through everybody. I didn't
Mm,
care. I'm not one that's gonna say, hey, you damn hoe, whatever. I might have said it when I was younger. But hey, if that's what you want to do, live your life. If it's not
mhm.
affecting your job, do your thing. But this is
Yeah.
the problem. When I had the first sergeant call me and tell me that I need to tell this girl how to douche, and I had no clue what it was, but I still went and told her because the whole hallway, all the way to his office, stank.
Oh, no. Oh my god.
It stunk.
Oh my god. Yeah,
When it comes down to that, it is fucked up that we women are hoes, but the guys are like superheroes in the military,
yeah.
you know? So we went to the field one time and the soldier came back and surprised his wife, but his wife was in bed with somebody else.
Oopsies.
He was mad, but he was doing it too. So that's when the relationship gets messed up. And this is why
Mm,
is a military complication because now
yeah.
you belong to the military and whatever
Mm,
happens in your home affects everybody. Honestly, being in the military, it's like a big high school.
yep. It is.
When people in your unit start talking about your relationship outside of the unit, that's when the complications start. Because military rules are rules. In the military, it's not okay for you to have more than one relationship,
Right.
even though you consent with it. But like I said, we might be cool today and we have an open relationship, but tomorrow I get jealous. Now, you got to call legal. You're in your first sergeant's office with the commander. You're getting yelled at
Mhm.
because your spouse said that some shit went down. And even though it was okay for you to go around, that one day that person flipped the fuck up and just ruined your whole military career.
Yup.
And this definitely affects you because the UCMJ tells you that it affects the good order and discipline, the unit morale,
Mhm.
because now everybody's talking shit about you. It
Yep.
shows favoritism because obviously they're going to believe your wife or your husband at the time. The chain of command gets fucking involved. And believe me, you don't want to be around them motherfuckers because they got a million and one things to do. They to deal with your family problems. Then everybody starts whispering when you're at work. It just brings so much drama to the workplace that is unnecessary.
Yep.
And that's when the rank gets involved. And even if you're not married, were you pressured by the higher ranking person to be with? Did the higher ranking person force you to be with them? Did they manipulate you to do things that you didn't want to do? Does that affect your work? Because sometimes you're having little affairs at work and everything is fine and dandy. But believe me, the signs are there. Everybody can
Mhm.
tell because now they're showing you favoritism.
You know, it's disgusting. At least twice in my career during Airman Leadership School when I was becoming an NCO, and then when I was an NCO Academy. It was at the same location, but there was an E9 that was messing around with the first one was an E3 or E4. But then the second one, if he wasn't the base chief, he was like almost the base E9. It was the E9 with the E3, and everybody knew. And then our whole class knew, so then it was like all the people in the career field knew, but then all of these other people from different career fields, like the cops, the nerds, the computer nerds, the medical field, every single career field on base knew that the E9 at this location was banging his E3 assistant. I was flabbergasted. I was like, man, how the fuck can you do that? Like, openly, everybody knew in their career field, but the people that worked for him, they were too afraid to say something. And I'm like, well, now the whole fucking base knows, but I don't know that anything ever happened.
And that's where it comes at because the chain of command gets involved. Like you said, supervisor relationships matter, fraternization matters in the military. And babies, rumors spread faster than paperwork. And I tell you because something like that did happen. She ended up being in charge of me at one point. I'm not going to say her name. We were switching, like, you know how people go on mini deployments, they go to Korea? They were switching the units. But like I told you, I got so good at my supply that I just had to go over there, fix it, come back over here. The person that came to the unit that I came in, she was pregnant. I didn't fucking know her, but she came pregnant. And the whole rumor was she was messing in Korea with an E9, like you said. She got pregnant, ruined his military career.
He's the one that had the dick.
Yes, got her pregnant. She was still messing around with other people. So she had to
Oh,
prove that it was his. Unfortunately for him, when he came back, wife, kids, everything got fucked up. An E9 to an E1.
oopsies. Dumbass.
Yeah, ruin his military career for no fucking reason.
For flour.
Yeah, for flowers. And the beauty of it is maybe he could have just spoke to his wife and said, "Hey, you know what? Let's have an open relationship." And his wife could have just said, "Hey, wrap it up."
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So, is it okay to have open relationships in the military with consent? Yes. But you guys got to make sure about the regulations.
Yep.
Because honestly, is it really worth your whole military career for 7 minutes in heaven? Is it really worth it?
No.
Now, before anybody starts opening anything, let's talk about some real questions. Some questions that we should ask each other. Like, are we both actually okay with this? And it should be an actual answer, not a, I guess, maybe. I don't want them to leave me. Those are not the correct answers that you need to give. Are you both actually okay with opening the relationship? Opening to different flowers, opening to different berenjenas, which is the eggplants. Do you want more than two eggplants, more than two flowers? Are you okay with it? Because if you're not okay with it, it's going to mentally fuck you up too.
Yeah.
Second question you should ask each other, are we doing this for love or are we doing this for fear?
Mm,
Because those are two different things. If you're doing it for love, by all means, use all the flowers and all the eggplants you want, go for it. But if you're doing out of fear to lose somebody else, that's not fair for you or anybody else in the relationship.
nope.
Question number three, are we exploring or are we avoiding bigger problems? Because exploring is something else. Obviously, we live in a world where everything is so sexualized that you
Mhm.
are able to say, I want to explore with myself, I want to explore with my body, I want to explore with my partners. But avoiding bigger problems, that's not good because what are you avoiding? Because opening a relationship isn't therapy, it isn't just a duct tape situation. And let's be honest, some of us don't need to be together.
Nope. Exactly.
Then you have the question about boundaries because this doesn't mean do whatever you want. You
Mhm.
have to put a boundary. Like you said, are we going to be dating other people? Especially if you're in the military and someone sees you at Chili's with somebody else, are they going to start gossiping
Oh.
about you? Exactly.
Mhm.
Are you okay with somebody seeing me with somebody else? Are sleepovers okay?
Hope we have a big enough house for this shit.
There you go. Are coworkers okay to sleep with? Because now you're bringing your coworkers into it is like, especially in the military, how many coworkers you have? You have a whole brigade of coworkers.
Mhm.
But you have to fucking set the boundaries because you still got to see them every day. You can't just be like, "Hey, I'm having sex with
Mhm.
you. Deuces," and then somebody catches feeling, hell is going to be released at work.
Mhm.
Are those emotional connections okay? Who else gonna know about our open relationship? Because let's face it, even though we don't want to talk about it, the kids might notice. They might
Yep.
say something. Family members, your friends might notice. Is it going to be a good idea for us to tell other people? What happens if somebody gets jealous? What happens if somebody wants to stop? If you want to stop, you need to talk about it. Opening a relationship without boundaries, baby, that is like you're playing dodgeball, waiting for a fucking ball to hit you in the face.
Oh, damn. I felt that.
Like, if that's what you like, go for it, you know? In the military, however, I think it's a lot trickier because you could get in a lot of trouble if you're
Yep.
married.
Yes.
If you're not, fair game. So have sex beautifully protected.
Yep.
Oh, so as you guys know, I really don't know much about this. So this is just me and Jess's personal opinion about the whole subject. I want to thank the audience person that sent us this. And before we continue, we need to take a break because we got serious for a minute.
Let's lighten it up. Game time. All right. I'll read the situation and you tell me if it sounds like healthy openness or absolutely not.
Okay.
All right. Number one, both people talked, they agreed, they wrote their boundaries, and they checked in regularly.
Open, I think, is a healthy relationship.
Okay. Number
Two.
two, one person says yes because they're scared the other person will leave.
Absolutely hell no. One person is not ready for that. Be honest and be able to say no.
Yep. Number three, they both have rules, but one person keeps forgetting them.
Absolutely not. If you fucking cut the rules and there's no boundaries, that you're being disrespected, nope.
Exactly. Number four, they communicate honestly and nobody is hiding anything.
Open. I think it'll be a healthy relationship.
Number five, they open the relationship during deployment without really talking it through.
Hell no, absolutely not. That's not a plan. That's a grenade with Wi Fi.
That is probably the absolute worst time to do it, but I'm glad that
Yes.
you agree.
That's something you don't talk over the phone. That's a face to face conversation.
Mm, yep. And not a 5-minute convo.
No, it's like days of coming up with rules,
Mhm.
understanding one another. It's not something that you talk while you're deploying. Hey, by the way,
Yeah. That means that person already has somebody called their side piece and they're just trying to make it legit. Number six, they both agree they can stop anytime if it hurts the relationship.
yep, open. I can see that because they're both agreeing with it.
Mhm. Number seven, someone says, it's not cheating because I was going to tell you later.
Oh, absolutely not. Baby, that is cheating with a delay shipping. Hell no. All right, but all jokes aside, this episode is not about judging people. Love doesn't always look the same way for all of us. Whatever works for you definitely doesn't work for me in my relationship. You do you, boo boo. But be respectful, be honest, and consent should definitely be involved. Nobody should ever feel pressure into becoming somebody they're not just to keep the relationship alive. Whether you're married, single, open, close, you deserve to be honest. You deserve respect. You deserve emotional safety, especially in the military life. Because open relationship or not, lying is still lying. Pressure is still pressure. And disrespect does not magically become healthy just because somebody gave it a different name.
Exactly. This was Unfiltered and Unarmored.
Real talk from two women veterans, life after service, healing, identity, and chaos in between.
And today's chaos was love, rules, jealousy, honesty, and military paperwork. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
And send us a message and tell us, do you think open relationships can work? Does military life make relationships harder? Or are you sitting there right now saying, Diana, absolutely not. I'm already tired.
Facts. Don't be shy. Send us a DM or email at unfilteredunarmored@gmail.com.
We're not perfect,
Never perfect,
just real,
just healing.
one day at a time. Bye.